Okay, so I'm a teacher at Kuala Middle School. I teach 7th grade science. And just to add on to Wes's part about the accessories, in terms of teaching the kids how to use the PDA, there's a product called Margie Presenter to Go. When I got it, it was for Windows, though. Windows-based handhelds. And what it does is, with the SD slot, you can attach this to your projector. So if you want to instruct the kids how to use your PDAs, they can see on the screen what is shown on this display here. So it's easier for them to follow, rather than saying press here, press there, you know. So I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure they have both platforms available, but the one that I have at school is for the Windows-based one. Okay, so this is actually a picture of one of our field trips to the Big Island. We use GPSs there and PDAs. So next slide, please. About 5 years ago, Judy and I received a bunch of laptops and a dozen of these Dell Axon PDAs. And I think we had the choice of choosing our PDAs, right? And so I went with this one because at the time, a lot of the PDAs had all the compact flash slots. And this is one of the first ones out that had the SD slots. The problem with that was that at the time, all the accessories were all for compact flash stuff. So all the probes and everything like that was all for Palm, basically, not much for the Windows, not support there. So we tried this out, and we pretty much used this primarily for data collection activities on our out-of-island field trips. Basically, it's because of the compact size of the PDA. The laptops that we got, they are about 7 pounds each in weight. So 5 years ago, you guys know how fast technology just improves. This is my current work laptop, about 3 pounds in weight, so you can see the difference there. Next slide, please. For the 8th grade trip to the Big Island, we had several data collection activities, and in terms of measurement, that's historically been one of our school's, I guess, weaknesses that we want to try to improve them on, and just standardized test scores, you know, and boost their science process skills. And so we had 2 activities, one of which, you see this picture here, these students are measuring what are called lava tolls. They're basically just projections or extensions of the main flow of the lava. And so as it solidifies, you see those projections sticking out there. So practicing taking metric measurements, and we also did what's called taking vesicle measurements, and near the eruption site. Next slide, please. So in terms of vesicle measurements, this is a picture here of a basic lava rock, and you see all these holes all over the place, yeah? And the kids, what they would do is, we have this little cardboard viewfinder, you know, like a little window, like a frame, and we place it over the rock itself, and the kids would randomly measure different bubble openings. And that information would provide us with, you know, basically the shape of the vesicle itself, how viscous the lava was prior to cooling, and so we use this information and analyze it further in the classroom. Next slide, please. And so, using the PDAs, what they did was they would enter an Excel spreadsheet different measurements, such as, you know, the length, width, observation characteristics, our location. All that stuff was inputted into the PDAs. And we had about 60 kids, I think, on this field trip. And using a dozen of these PDAs, basically we had like 1 per 5. You know, they break into groups. We had 1 PDA, in which case all the other data that was stored in the other PDAs, they're all beamed to that one. So in the end, 1 PDA had all the other groups' information on the SD card. Next slide, please. Afterwards, for this trip here, we this is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Big Island and where Hulu is, or the old Saddle Road. Okay, so if you look at the last page of that handout, this is actually a packet from the kids' folders, one of our inserts. And coming from, it was Kona, going to Hilo, we stopped off right around the middle of that old saddle road, and that's where we have a service project. We remove invasive plant species like that, and that's where we also had our measurements. But on the way to Hilo, what we ended up doing is, this is one of the graduate students in the background there. So we ended up going to Borders and then transferring the data from the PDA to the laptop, and then hooked up the hotspot and then sent that online through the internet. So a lot of steps involved here. I mean, I'm hoping that with the newer PDAs out there, it's less complicated than what we went through with this model here. Next slide, please. I want to also mention other activities that we've done at our school using the PDAs. And for the 7th grade trip, we've taken the Kauai. And for this one, we've done water chemistry testing, but it's not using the probes that Wes will talk about afterwards. Or Sheesh. Yeah. So we had the low budget version. I'm not sure if you heard of the Lamont's water chemistry kit. It's pretty simple. It's using the little tablets or pills, and you mix it with the water sample, and you're basically comparing it to a color chart. And so this information here, similarly, they were inputting it, practicing data collection skills, and then transferring it once again to one PDA. And we also ended up testing streams nearby our school. It's a Po'oa stream and Lumanu stream, and kind of doing a comparison between water quality at different locations. And what's kind of strange is that Po'oa stream, which runs right across the street from our school, the pH level was like a 10. That water over there, it's pretty high, yeah. And what we ended up doing is, from the PDAs, we ended up transferring this information to one of the laptops in the classroom, and we uploaded the data to a UH database. We can click on that link.
Actually, I'm not connected right now. We can do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I tried going on here, and I couldn't, for some reason, access the database itself. But this link takes you to a page where you can print out forms, which provides information about different water quality features that you want to look for. It's pretty comprehensive. And so what we ended up doing was just, inputting the parts that we wanted to collect. Okay, next, please. Let's see what else. Oh, one of the other features of the PDA is that, as Wes mentioned, you can record stuff on here, play music, view videos, look at pictures and stuff like that. Part of our Kauai trip, I actually put in here like a PowerPoint slideshow, and that served as kind of like a miniature field guide for the kids. So we had the slideshow the night before just to go over what to expect or look for on the hike itself. That we went to Aric Swamp, and so the kids could look at the pictures on here. I had other pictures such as like places we're going to visit, Waimea Canyon, Kilauea Lighthouse, flora and fauna of different places. And along with that, we also have some bird songs on there too. And we try to do like a simulation of what the rainforest back before people arrived, what it sounded like with the sounds of the native birds. And so every PDA had all the songs, and I had different kids play different bird songs, what it would sound like in the wild. But this is just one of them here. So you can imagine if you combine this with the other PDAs and different bird songs, what that forest would look, sound like back then. Yeah. And so this is just, some of the things that we've been doing in the last couple of years with the PDAs.